Hey, everybody, this is Jimmy, and welcome to another episode of the Meet the Candidates series for Cambridge School Committee and Cambridge City Council. Right now, we have our guest, David Weinstein. He is running for his third term for the Cambridge School Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Mr. David Weinstein. Hello, David. How are you?
Hi, Jimmy. I'm doing well. Thanks for doing this again.
Of course. It's a lot of fun. I get to meet all the candidates. I get to kind of drill down on the issues for the school committee and the city council, and it keeps me connected to the city. So I really enjoy doing it, and I hope it's a valid, helpful public service. So, David, 2 terms you've served on the school committee. First of all, tell people a little bit about your background. How long have you lived in Cambridge, and why are you running for a 3rd term for Cambridge School Committee?
Sure. Well, again, thanks for doing this. I've been living in Cambridge for 22 years and have some connections and spent a lot of time in Cambridge for even a few years before that, which is part of what drew me to, move here in the first place when I did. So, just a little bit of time, walking around and getting to know my neighbors. I know 22 years is a drop in the bucket for a lot of folks, but my kids, born and raised in Cambridge, they're now in 6th grade and 11th grade. They've been in the Cambridge public schools for their entire education. And I myself am a former classroom teacher. I primarily taught high school English and humanities. I taught art K through 12, always in public schools in Massachusetts and in New York. I did some work at a camp for students with special education needs, substitute taught at School for the Deaf. So kind of a wide range of in-class classroom experience. As well as work in education and in communications over the past 20 years or so, both in higher ed and in a couple of nonprofit organizations. And that's kind of what brought me to school committee.
Right. And so it's going pretty well, I take it. You must like it. You're running again. Tell us why you're running for a 3rd term.
Well, I mean, the short answer is because we're not done yet. Mm-hmm. And I do think that I've been able to be effective working as part of the school committee team and working in collaboration with the community in moving forward on some of the things that will really make a difference for our kids. And I really want to build on that momentum. I mean, as you mentioned, this would be my 3rd term. First of all, I ran for school committee back in 2015, actually. Mm-hmm. And, as, I was putting together, new materials for this campaign and, I was looking back and after, almost 4 years kind of in the weeds on the committee and realized that the priorities I set out, even in 2015, have been the pieces that I have worked on and have been able to make progress on, including expanding pre-K to all 4-year-olds. We're about to launch we are launching our universal preschool program. Yeah. All 4-year-olds, many 3-year-olds will have free in school day, school year, preschool, and some will have even beyond that, increasing the percentage of teachers of color, ensuring a strong start for our superintendent based on a shared vision and direction. We've had a new superintendent now for a while, and we've really had in place a multi-year strategic plan, strengthening our upper schools, individualized student success plans for all, which I'll probably say something more about later, enhancing academic opportunity and sports and extracurriculars, particularly at our upper school. So I joined the school committee in January of 2020. So, within a few months, we were in that COVID emergency, something none of us anticipated. And I do think that in many ways, our response in Cambridge as a community and our response in the school district, which of course was connected, was really strong. And in many ways, I think some of the best work that had been done. Unfortunately, communities were kind of left on their own to figure it out, but I think we did a really strong job, which continues to benefit us. That said, as we've, in this 2nd term, we've really had more space to work on the things that I ran to work on, which is closing racial, gender, economic opportunity gaps. And, I want to really build on the momentum that I think we have right now. We are the individualized student success plan piece, which is having a comprehensive system that really knits together the school district, the city, other partners to ensure that cradle to career, no kid falls through the cracks, mm-hmm. right? This year, we are one of the communities in a cohort working with Harvard Graduate School of Education's Ed Redesign Lab, their Institute of Success Planning, to develop our model. Because really, with all the resources that we have in Cambridge, nobody should fall through the cracks. Lots of kids and families get all that they need, but there are still kids, and I think this is part of why we have that gap, who maybe they're getting some academic supports that they need in one area, but they could be excelling and going way beyond in another at the same time, or they could be connected with an opportunity outside of the schools, or there's a need that has come up for them or for their family that we don't want to rely on individual teachers, for example, who care deeply and are working really hard and have a full load to know about and realize all of those pieces and be able to connect every child with all those pieces. We need a navigator for every child. We need to make sure that those connections are happening. So I want to see us, follow through on that among other priorities in a really strong way.
Right. Tell me 3 quick questions. I know they're introducing a tutoring program that they hope to will actually do a lot of good in the schools. The MCAS test came back, and apparently many of the students have done well in that. Do you still support the MCAS testing? But of course, some people have not done well. Still, the achievement gap, specifically around children of color, is still it's wider than everybody wants it to be. And so those, and then the vocational component. Are you supportive of a vocational component that's more robust than it is now? Because not everybody is, cut out for college or wants to go to college. So I know that's a lot, but I know you're sharp, so you'll
Sure.
get it.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll start with the last piece, which is that what we need to be about in the Cambridge Public Schools is making sure that we are supporting each child to both, find their passions and really be set up for their next step. And that is going to look different for different people, different interests, different, different passions, different, skills, different things that they're going to be doing. And it's not always college. It's not always the same kind of college. It definitely includes trades. It includes sometimes a college path that is integrated with internships and with apprenticeships in trades. And it definitely includes our, career technical education. And we are in the process of a review of RISTA, of the Rennes School of Technical Arts. And there's more to do there to make sure that we've aligned what we're offering with what's going to be most helpful for students now. Because, of course, those needs and opportunities evolve. And we have a lot going on in Cambridge. Certainly the high tech and the, biopharma stuff and all of that, which we need to make sure kids are prepared for. And electrical and plumbing and entrepreneurship, skills, all of that. MCAS, I mean, my feeling is that any kind of assessment like that, it needs to be high stakes for us, the adults, and not for the students, because, we need to make sure that we really are preparing kids. And I think that MCAS has a lot of limitations in terms of what it can tell us. It doesn't tell us how an individual teacher did in a particular year. It doesn't give us the full picture of how well we're preparing our students, but it does give us some information about, is there a grade level or a school where things are looking very different? What's going on? Let's support where needed. Our MCAS results, the Globe reported, I was quoted in an article they did about that. While it's really good to see that with its limitations, we still are one of the few communities that academically on MCAS are more or less where we were pre-pandemic. The opportunity gaps are also there, and in fact, in some cases widened. There could be a lot of factors, but I definitely think our schools need to be working on that, which is, again, why I ran in the first place initially, even in 2015, and what I've really been focused on.
Short answer, David, though. You see us making progress in your 2 terms. Do you see us making progress, the Cambridge School Committee and the Cambridge Public Schools?
Absolutely. I mean, we have made a commitment. I was one of the leads on ensuring that this happened. We made a commitment to Algebra 1 for all in 8th grade. And so that's something that we finally have a timeline on. It's been a 30-year back and forth process. So I want to make sure that we actually follow through in an equitable way, prepare every kid. But we've aligned our math curriculum, K-12. We have, really taken concrete steps to put in a more comprehensive system. So the great things that we do for kids are accessible and accessed by every kid. We've moved to a science of reading-based curriculum so that we can meet the 3rd grade literacy goals we have, which is really every child on grade level by 3rd grade in their reading, which is just a key inflection point for kids to succeed. So those things are in place, but if we don't follow through, and if we don't make sure that we evaluate and adjust as we go and make sure that we're not overloading people, but really focused on what's working, then, I don't think we'll have the success that we should have.
Okay.
So I want to make sure we do.
Great. We only have a couple of minutes left. The school committee, the superintendent's review was less than stellar, put it that way. Apparently she didn't get a great review recently. What do you think about that? Do you think there's what do you think in terms of the school superintendent?
Well, I mean, I think one of our most important responsibilities as a school committee is selecting a superintendent, supporting that person, essentially being their boss. It's a weird way to say it, but it is the case. So that evaluation is part of that. And I think that it would be not fair to the superintendent if we did not share honest feedback. And I think there are a lot of things that she's done that have been really, really beneficial for our schools. And, we rated her needs improvement in a number of categories, and we were pretty much on the committee all on the same page about that. Pieces where about how people, various stakeholders, parents, teachers, other community members are being engaged in processes, the way that we're rolling these things out, how there's work to do. We need to there's work to do. And I think that we need to share that and needed to so that we could actually do that work and support her to do that.
Two more questions. The school contract, we only got a minute. The school contract, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that? And your closing statement, where can people find you?
I'm optimistic that we'll have the contract agreement soon. I certainly value teachers and think we need to be, the best place to teach from every perspective. I'm a former teacher myself, former union member, in fact, teachers union member. So I'm optimistic about that. What was your second question?
And your closing statement, where can people find you and make a large donation or volunteer for your campaign or put a sign in their yard?
Yeah, well, you can go to votedavidweinstein.com for any of those things. My phone number's there. Give me a call with questions. And I really, ask for your number one vote so I can really, again, build on the momentum that we have and continue to move us forward because we've got more to do. And I think I bring something important to that team.
All righty. VoteDavidWeinstein.com. Is that correct?
That's right.
VoteDavidWeinstein.com. He welcomes your phone calls, your emails, just not after 9 o'clock at night. David, good luck. Good to see you again. And congratulations on running for a third term. Congratulations on success in 2 other terms. And I will see you on the campaign trail. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. I'll knock on your door soon, I'm sure.
Great.